Look, the biggest wake-up call is I always thought the bureaucracy was nothing more than an arse-covering department. So, yep, they'd be a big, bumbling bureaucratic department. I accept that, all big organisations, even, private corporations, you can have big corporations that are bumbling and they're not well managed. But I sometimes I seriously question the motive of bureaucrats. Not all of them. Not all. I want to be clear about that. And by bureaucrats, I'm not talking about teachers and nurses and those guys. They're what I call public servants. They're our front end workers. I'm talking about the bureaucrats in Canberra and to a lesser extent the bureaucrats in George Street in Queensland here. But they do things that I don't think are in the nation's best interests. And even though they know that, they still do what they do. Take that tax example, for example, where we're rewarding offshore ownership instead of onshore ownership. Renewables, for example, we will now shut down our own domestic supply of materials, coal, gas, uranium, whatever, to instead import foreign-made renewables, and 75% of those renewable companies are foreign-owned. In 1985, when we lifted capital controls and let foreign debt into the country, that then created a debt bubble that in 2008 was going to pop because of the GFC. So then they had to let foreign students, they changed the law to allow foreign students to buy houses to prop up the housing market, right? So we are killing our children's future. And we know that we're killing our children's future, but we're not doing anything about it. And at some point you start to say, well, I'm currently in a bingle with another senator about the definition of consent. Silence is consent, but so many of my colleagues know this and don't do anything about it, as well as the bureaucrats. And it's like, at some point we've got to stop this. Stop the train we're on and say we're going in the wrong direction, and actually turn it around, and start going in the right direction.